It is, yeah. It's up in the upper left, upper right. All right, it's working, Mike. To the right, to the right advances. All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the Royal Wood Master Association Board of Directors to order. The time is 3 o'clock on April 14th. My name is Rick Murphy, and I'm the newly elected president of the Master Board. And I look forward to working with you all in this new capacity. I want to start by first asking our general manager to confirm that we have properly noticed this meeting.
Yes, we have.
Thank you, Debbie. I also want to announce that we are fortunate to have all members of the Board of Directors here at this meeting today. 6 are in person, and 1 is participating remotely through a video conference at the end of this meeting here. So I'd like to start down on my far left, Jamshed Vathena. Jamshed is a director representing Bloomfield. To Jamshed's right is Rick Verrier, our director from Amherst. Jeff Clark, our director and secretary, representing Amberley. To my left, newly appointed treasurer, Mike Murphy from the Single Family Homeowners Association. To my right is Mike Fahili, representing Cobblestone, and Mike is our newly appointed vice president. And on the phone is Tim Shields, who is the director representing Cranbrook. Before proceeding with today's meeting, I'd really like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence in memory of the members of our community who have passed away this last season and last year. Let us take the time to honor their lives and the impact they had on Royalwood. And I'll just quickly review the list of names that I've been provided of those individuals. And hopefully I'm not going to miss anyone. In 2025, we lost Kyle Kenny, Matt Melillo, Dick Angeli, Doris Rowe, Sandy Beaumont, Sam Nigro, Stephen Pazant, Robert Klein, and Thomas Doobie. In 2024, we lost Robert Bede, Robert Grisdale, Richard Melillo, John Nicholson, William Murray, Angela McGuire, Richard Mary, Robert LaCroix, Richard Beach, Angela Cimitaro, Jerry Cochran, Joseph Chivosiano, Debbie Potter, Joanne Larino, and Eleanor Carley, if we just could have a moment of silence. Thank you. Dave Duncan was not on the list, but thank you, Jim. I appreciate you calling Dave Duncan's name out. And Joe Clapp as well. Did I miss any others? Very sorry for that. Okay. I'd like to move forward with the meeting agenda by approving the minutes of the February 10th, 2025 Board of Directors meeting. The meeting minutes were included in the meeting booklet that was distributed to the board last week. I hope you all have had a chance to review them and see if there are any questions or comments. So I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 10th, 2025 Board of Directors meeting. Someone like to make a motion? Mike Murphy made the motion, and second? What was that? Rick Verrier, a second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. As this meeting is really my first official meeting as the president of Royalwood, I'd like to take just a few minutes to introduce myself to those members that I have not had a chance to get to know. And first, I want to thank the board for your trust and confidence in me in this role. And I recognize the responsibility that comes with this role, and I'm committed to working diligently on behalf of our community. I'd also like to acknowledge the contribution of past board presidents, directors, committee volunteers, and all of you who actively engage in our community. Royalwood is successful because of the dedication and involvement of our members. By way of background, my wife, Gina, who is here today, and I have been part of this wonderful community for over 20 years, and we truly appreciate everything that this community has to offer. My professional career spanned 43 years, primarily in the natural gas and electric utility industry, where I held senior officer roles overseeing customer-facing operations. I have a Bachelor's of Science degree in accounting from UMass Lowell and an MBA with a concentration in marketing from Northeastern University. I believe my education, work experience in financial management, customer service, and operational leadership, along with my 4 years on the board, served me well as I prepare for this new role. My focus as president of the club will be on ensuring sound financial decisions, transparent communication, and high-quality living experiences for all residents. Since our community has evolved considerably over the last decade or so, I've begun working together with the board to refresh the association's vision and mission statement that was last issued in the year 2007. The purpose of this initiative is to ensure that we maintain the high standards that make Royalwood a great place to live while adapting to the needs of all residents, both the long-term residents and our newer members. Our proposed updated vision, mission, and value statement will be presented and voted on later in this meeting. I look forward to working with you all to build a great future together and help make Royalwood the best that it can be. It has been a very busy first month for me in my new role. In addition to the day-to-day issues that arise and the items that will be presented later in today's meeting, we have held two important meetings already. The first was March 31st, where we held a joint finance committee and master board workshop on the 2026 budget. The budget allowed Royalwood committee members, as well as individual members from the community, to share their thoughts and ideas on what to be considered in the development of our 2026 budget. The April 11th meeting that we had just this past Friday on the proposed Summit Broadband contract allowed members to actually learn more of the details of the proposed contract that Summit Broadband delivered to the Board of Directors, and how the new contract is intended to address the service quality issues that we have experienced over the last several years, and also to provide questions to their answers and learn more about what Summit has to offer. I was very pleased with how that meeting went. I thought the leadership team that was here from Summit, including their CEO, was very receptive to the feedback on past issues and is committed to working with the community, no matter what our decision is moving forward with Summit, to address some of these issues. So with respect to our board meetings, I just want to share a few of my expectations so we all start on the same page for these meetings. We'll be focused, respectful, and time-disciplined in our meetings. No grandstanding or no side agendas. Every decision we make will be rooted in what's best for the community long-term, not personal preference or short-term convenience. Disagreement is healthy, disrespect is not. Let's challenge ideas, not people. We will operate with transparency and professionalism. That includes timely communication, proper documentation, and accountability. Today's agenda includes updates on our club's operations, financial updates, committee reports, an open forum for members to provide comments on agenda items, an update on safety initiatives, and 4 items seeking approval from the board. Those 4 items include the club's updated vision, mission, and value statement I mentioned earlier, the proposed 2025-26 Royalwood Standing Committees and their rosters, the Finance Committee's proposed 2026 food and beverage minimum policy, and finally, a proposed court resurfacing project. Let's stay focused on outcomes and next steps. If we go off track, I'll try to bring us back, not to shut down anybody, but to be respectful of everyone's time. So with that, I'd like to move forward with the next agenda item and turn things over to our General Manager, Debbie Richards.
Hi, everyone. Before I get into my little shtick, I'd like to introduce the management team here for Royalwood. Ori Andrews, he is our golf course superintendent, took over for Kevin Ackerman and his assistant, Rich Vargas. I don't know what we would do without those guys. They have done a fantastic job. It's been seamless from the transition from Kevin to Ori and the team, and I couldn't be happier with the way the golf course looks. And we are still focused on 2028 and doing our renovations, and just super excited about what this community is going to be after our golf course renovation. Next, I have Wyatt. Wyatt is our golf pro. He is the man, as everyone here knows. We have his assistant, Mark, and Tom, who services all the members. We have Ogene. He is the food and beverage manager, does a great job, super happy. In the back there, we've got Jessica. She is the director, membership director. We have Vicky Valdez. She's our receptionist, but she's also our office manager and does all the payables for us. And then we have our new hire here, which is Mike Sourwine. If you haven't met him after the meeting, go over and say hi. He'll be here for a few minutes. And Chef Vicky couldn't attend this meeting, but she's just done a great job in the restaurant. So we're super happy to have them here for everyone to say hello. Okay, so I just get a quick update on the spa. The spa heater was reported to be not working last week. I had the heating company come out, and there was really nothing wrong with the actual heater. It was the spa motor that was bad. So ER Pools came out this weekend, and they replaced the motor, and everything is back up and running. I know most of you know that the ice machine on number 1 and number 4 both will be replaced. They're shipped out of New York, so I'm hoping to have them installed by the end of this week or the beginning of next week. We currently have a 7-year life on our ice machines. The ones that sit outside, I'm going to change them to 5 years because they do sit outside 24/7. I know people have been writing on it that they'd like new ones, so that's in the works. It should be here really shortly. All our management team is really excited to know that May 1st is coming. So I'm going to give this a quick update on the hours. As of May 1st, the pro shop's open still 7 days a week, but they're open 7 to 3. The restaurant hours are as follows. Monday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesdays, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday through Friday, we're open 11 to 9 p.m. Saturdays, 11 to 6, and Sundays, 10 to 4. We have golf course maintenance closures coming up May 8th, June 9th, July 3rd, and August 8th. Those will be for maintenance. This year, we're putting out a summer calendar. They're in the pro shop now. It has the hours of all the departments as well as all the events that we have during the summertime. I think we've had a pretty successful season. We tried to have a lot of events. Some worked, some didn't. You don't know unless you try. Next season, we'll have a little bit less events and more a la carte dining. We have one more big event planned on April 24th. We'll be renting a tent and offering outdoor dining with a family-style Italian dinner theme. I'm hoping that members who want to sit outside will all sign up. So far, we only have 15 signed up, so hopefully, if this goes over or not, will be up to the membership. So that's all I have. Thank
you, Debbie, and thank you for introducing your team. I thought I knew a lot by being on the board for 4 years about the activity that takes place here in our club, but until the last month, I didn't realize how much activity goes through Debbie and her management team and the work that they do to keep this organization, this community going. So we really appreciate the commitment that you all make, the work that you put in day in and day out, and appreciate all your efforts. Thank you. Okay, moving right along with our next agenda item, I'd like to turn things over to Mike Murphy, our newly elected treasurer, to provide an update on the club's first quarter financials. Mike, it's all yours.
Thanks, Rick. Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon, everyone at home. I'm going to review our Q1 financial results. First, I'd like to start by a quick summary of our 2025 operating budget. We have budgeted revenues for 2025, a total of $7,697,639. Those budgeted revenues are made up of membership fees and operating revenues. We have budgeted expenses of $7,652,672,000. Budgeted surplus deficit is around $45,000. So that's the overview of what our 2025 budget is for Royal Wood. Obviously, the first quarter is an important quarter for Royal Wood, not only because you always want to get off to a good start, but because it's our biggest quarter, it's our largest quarter. We have the most revenue come through the club during this first quarter. And it's great to be here giving my first report with such great results. And I think it just makes sense that we were going to continue to have great results because we had great results through all of last year and Q4 of last year. And so I think that just carried on. The summary of these results, our overall net earnings were 30% better than budget. So that's just fantastic. Golf amenity costs are lower than budget. Food and beverage amenity costs are slightly higher than budget. That seems to make sense with it being the busiest time of the year for us. General operating expenses are slightly lower than budget, so that's a good thing. We always try to work hard with doing that, and I think that was a big part of our success from last year, was working our expenses within budget. And then, of course, insurance expenses are approximately 20% lower than budget, so that's great news. And so these things are really what's driving the good, strong results. You got it. Let's take a look at the scorecard. On the left side, we have the revenue variances, and on the right side, we have our expense variances. And so this really just gives us a look at where we're doing okay and where we could maybe do better or just at least keep score for going forward this year. Cart revenue is up. Greens and Walker fees are up. Administration fees are down. Food and beverage gross profit sales are up. Pro shop gross profit sales are slightly down. But in total, revenue variance is $89,000 to the positive. Expense variances, general administrative operations, down. Insurance premiums, down. Food and beverage operations, up. Pro shop operations, down. Our expense variances are around $15,000. And so it was really a terrific quarter. We're around $75,000 ahead of where we want to be. So, I think it's just a testament to the great job that management does. I think that our staff does a great job. I think that the people here at Royal Wood that are supporting everything we do here at the club are doing a great job. And that's why we're seeing great results. And so that's the Q1 outlook right now, and going forward into the summer months, as you know, they become more challenging. But I have every reason to think that we'll continue to just keep doing a great job. So thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Great results. Okay, next up on the agenda is the opportunity for our Board of Directors to ask any questions on the reports that have been delivered thus far or any general comments from the directors in general. Jim Shedd, anything that you have? get the mic on.
Thank you. I believe we're going to discuss about the resurfacing of the tennis courts.
Yes, and there'll be
And,
a opportunity to make comments on that proposal
And
at that time.
It's on the agenda.
Yes, it is.
And I would suggest that the tennis members over here, we should hear them out first before we start voting on that.
Yes, the agenda has the open forum that will precede the new business items on the
thank you.
agenda. Yes. Anything on your
All
end?
set.
All set? Jeff, anything? No. Okay. Mike, any questions, comments on? Okay. All right, moving ahead. We are ready for committee reports. Let's hear from all of the Royal Wood Committee chairs that indicated to me via email that they have updates on the committee's activities to share. And we're going to go in alphabetical order by committee name. So the first up is Jim McEachran, Chair of the Royal Wood Appreciation Day Committee. As you know, Jim is also the chair of the Golf and Greens Committee, so Jim is going to be providing reports on both of those committees this moment. Jim, thank you.
Thanks, Rick. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jim McEachran, chairperson of the Golf and Greens. And Appreciation Day. Here we go. First, I want to recognize the committee members of the Golf and Greens. Besides myself as chair, Gina Murphy, vice chair and secretary, Mindy Norbaum, 18-hole ladies president, Danny Jones, 18-hole men's president, Suzanne Stoll, president of the 9-hole ladies, and Al Hoffman, president of the 9-hole men's. Also on the committee is Jeff John, member at large, Ken Ludwig, member at large, Wyatt Turner, director of golf, Debbie Richard, our general manager, and Ari Andrews, golf course superintendent, and Mike Fahely, liaison to the master board. It's been a great 2024-25 golf season. I'm going to recognize all the winners today of all the leagues. So just bear with me. We're going to start off with the 9-hole ladies. Suzanne Stoll has given me all the information. 9-hole ladies has 146 members. The owner on the low net side went to Lisa Pusinelli and Linda Elkerson. I start off with the hardest pronounced names for me. The owner on the low growth side was Paula Frizzell and Suzanne Stoll. So let's give a little shout out to these people. It's not easy winning golf tournaments, no matter where you're playing. The President's Cup for the 9-holers went to Michelle Fahely. Mike, is that your daughter-in-law? That's Mike's daughter-in-law. So we do have a golfer in his family. And a winner. In the 9-hole ladies championship, hopefully I can pronounce this name right, is Gail Shred. Chris, thank you. Little shout out to Gail. That's page 1. Results from the 9-hole men's league. Al Hoffman is the president. Club champion is Richard Bongiano. All right, Rich, you here? No? Men's owner was Ron DeLauro and Bill DiPaolo. Definitely a theme in the 9-hole ladies championships. You didn't get that from Rome? No, all right. Results from the 18-hole ladies. 96 ladies. Mindy Naubaum, president of the ladies. And also, Mindy has done a great job for the last 2 years. And her term is ending. And MJ Crowley will be the new president. MJ, are you here? No, not here. Practicing golf, okay. So the ladies owner on the growth side was MJ Crowley and Holly Vandervoort. So on the net side of the owner, Susan McIndale and Gwen Stapleford. Also, out of the blue, the ladies' red tee champion this past year, Diane Farrell. President's Cup went to Yolanda Fern. And our ladies' club championship, Terry Allen. Okay, the men's 18, President Danny Jones. There's 210 members this past year. And we're going to start all the way back to the beginning of the season in November 2024, the 3-day member guest, which is a very difficult tournament to win. I believe there were 10 flights this year, Wyatt? 9 flights. It was a great time. And the winner of the overall championship was our Dennis and Tom Fury. Congratulations, Dennis, past president. When you step down, your golf game improved. Right. Okay, owner on the growth side was Mike Murphy and Jim McEachran. Okay. I picked good partners. That's what you have to do. It wasn't me. And on the net side, I don't think they're related. Richard Clark and Jeff Clark, right? Jeff? No relation. You know, I keep putting to the board here, there's a lot of winners out there. I hope you put more time for the board. I know you guys do. You're on the golf course a lot, right? Yes, Rick, I'll try to make this brief. He came up to me personally, "Can I make it brief? What are you going to do, fire me?" Yeah, I'm fired anyway. Oh, I am stepping down. I didn't tell you. I am 5 years. 5 years. I'm passing it on. I made recommendations to Rick for the new Golf and Greens director, Jeff Johns. All right, Jeff. Thanks. He'll do a great job. Great guy. Okay, where are we? All right. Club champion. He's not with us right now. Yes, he's on video. He's on video. Good friend, Timmy Shales. We went back to old school. I believe a club championship should be tested from the toughest environment, and we went to the Blue Tees. And we had a lot of good players there. It was really, really tough. Tim came in with scores of 76, 77. Past president out there, Gary Norbaum, he's a bride again. Came out second, but I expect him to win it next year. He's going to have a lot of time on his hands. He just told me the other day he got a brand new driver. Get 20 yards. He's going to run on a fairway out there now. Okay. But it's a great championship, and thanks to all participants in that championship. Okay, I'm going to go on special events. A few years ago, this couples league was started, and Wyatt and Tom and Mark from the Pro Shop really handled this. Wyatt, how many couples play each Saturday afternoon, roughly? Around 100 people. And they had the Couples Club Championship this year, and back-to-back champions were Jeff Johns and Holly Vanderbilt. So if you're ever out there and they want to wager a little bet in the 4-ball, don't take them on. Right? Also, we had the par 3 contest a few weeks ago, well, just last week. On the men's side, the best score was Ken May. And on the net side, Joe Lattimore. So it's a nice tournament. And on the ladies' side, on the 18-hole ladies, my note says MJ Crowley won both gross and net. So, but you didn't get the money on the net. We had to settle that out. You only can win one way on the money. The 9-holers on the par 3, we had 4 winners, 4 divisions. We had Jane Bagley, Heather Cohn, Kate Corral, and Deb Butcher. So, very nice, ladies. Don't forget the Hullabaloo. It's a 2-day event. 2 men, 2 ladies. Always a great time out there. And the winning team was Billy Scott, Tom Eamon, Mindy Norbaum, and Shelley Reel. All right. And now wrapping this up on the golf side, we had a new tournaments this year called Royal Wood, the Royal Cup. And it lasted over the season. And we had the ladies on the team side, match play, and the winners were Mindy Norbaum and Linda Galati. And on the ladies' single tournament, the winner was Donna Bopp. Donna. The men had the same tournament. On the men's team side, the winning team was Gary Norbaum and Bob Peacock. And just recently, the men's finished, and it was, excuse me for my pronunciation on this one, Art van den Drische. How do you pronounce his name? Art van den Drische. But good going, Art. That's on the golf side. The green side, what can I say? Ori and his staff, full compliments of men. Are you still down? Are you still down 1? Oh, Ori's gone. He's come on strong here. At the beginning of the season, with the cold weather, the Golf and Greens Committee, I was a little on top of him, right? But he showed me the way. The warm weather came, the sun came out, and the course is in excellent shape. Personally, I think. What they do is hard work. They mow 7 days a week. They roll the greens 4 days a week. Tees, greens, throughout the greens. Also, they're doing some new applications out there from fairway to the edge of the fairway. You probably see this, I don't know, crabgrass growing. Actually, they've already started. They're going to keep doing this for the rest of the summer to get rid of the crabgrass. They've kind of gone away with the people on their hands and knees. It wasn't practical. It was taking too much time. But we probably, by next season, you'll see all that crabgrass out of here. Okay. So now I'm going to go in Appreciation Day. Appreciation Day, that was March 22nd, started in 1995. The purpose of the Appreciation Day was for the betterment of Royal Woods community. I'm glad to say my last 5 years as chair, March 22nd, it was the highest net profit we made. Let me get mine. I don't want to, let's see, here we go. We made a net profit of $10,575 even. We had a carryover of $12,332.05. And in the Appreciation Day fund right now is $22,907.05. Last few years, we've used money, about $11,000 for the uplighting coming in. The year before, about almost the same amount, $10,600 for the new blinds out there in the atrium. Our committees, Appreciation Day committees, we have earmarked, and this is all based on approval from our master board of where this money will be going. And I believe prior to the Appreciation Day, we sent out little flyers. We've not approved, but on the recommendation to the board on some furniture outside as you come in. This would be approximately about $3,000 to $3,200. Also, the post clock. Want to see the post clock? This company is out of Cincinnati. They've been doing post clocks since 1842. Post clocks you'll see on golf courses, you'll see at universities, you'll see at colleges, you'll see a lot of places. The one we have chosen, all types of post clocks. Debbie Richard is basically the point person on this. She has been in contact with them, and the one we decided is approximately 16 feet high. If you want some pictures, you notify Debbie or myself, we can send you out pictures. You're probably going to say, well, what's the money? The money, we have a estimate of about $32,000. Could be a little bit more of you put the names in it. So at the very beginning, I estimated $35,000 on this clock, and I'm pretty close to it. I think it'll be also to go along with this. Carla Bell has been the point person of pavers. Pavers in memory, or you can buy a paver, it's going to be around the clock. The clock is right now situated, going to be situated, there's a tree as you make the turn right on before the number 1 tee. We've been in contact with the Galatis to see if there's any problem with that. It's a clock that doesn't have lights going out. It's a clock that doesn't have chimes. So we're waiting to hear from the Galatis on that. But I'm sure everyone, we do have a mock-up of what it looks like, and Debbie can provide that with a lot of information. So, Debbie, I'm giving you some more work to do like you needed, right? Yeah. But it's been okay, been a great 5 years. But I couldn't have done it with all the without the committees. But thanks, everyone. Yeah, okay.
Appreciation Day committee, do they decide where that money is to be spent, or does that go to the board?
That goes to the board. We recommend it goes to the board. All right. Thank you.
Jim, please stay up there for a second. I think my wife has a few things she'd like to say.
Jim, in appreciation for the 5 years that you worked so hard on the Appreciation Day Committee and the director of golf, the chair of the Golf and Greens Committee, I'd like to present you with a gift. And thank you. We appreciate your time.
Jim, thank you so much for your service over the last 5 years. It's very much appreciated. Okay, moving along. Next up is Jim Rayner, Chair of the Architectural Review Committee. Jim?
I think Mr. McEachern took all my time up, so I think I'm down to like
2 minutes.
2 minutes. How are we doing here? Good, good, good. Since our last report back on March 10, ARC has had 2 meetings, fully scheduled meetings, one on March 11, one on April 1. We approved 23 applications. Thank you for getting them in, and thank you for allowing us to be of some help. We also had a short meeting on short notice, a 48-hour posting to help accumulate all the balance of information from Amberley on some questions that we all have, and we're hoping to get a resolution out on that pretty soon. And for our friends at Amberley, please rest assured that any final resolution based on any appeal they want to take will not be resolved until probably the fall, either the November or later meeting. We'll phrase it in such a way to preserve everyone's rights. We also met with some representatives, some of the presidents from a couple of the CEOs or COAs, to help to the degree we can in long-range planning for exterior appearances of the buildings. It's great to get involved early on, so we don't have to worry about issues down the road. The other thing that we do, and sometimes the role of ARC is kind of murky, because we get asked a lot of questions, either get referrals sometimes from the office, individuals will email us or call us, anything having to do with the exterior of the properties, and many times it doesn't really fit in with our jurisdiction, but we try to talk everybody through whatever issues they have in a respectful way, and sometimes it gets kicked over to other committees. The rust, the major issue coming up, Chris Gannon and I did a preliminary a rust inspection, and notices were sent out. There's going to be a second team doing a final inspection tomorrow. We received feedback from people that they've cleaned up their rust, and I guess for the balance, for the most of the other people, we'll find that out after tomorrow's inspection. But I really think that the state of affairs here in terms of, in Royal Wood for the appearance or overall appearance is excellent. The last thing I'll remind everybody, which I try to do at every meeting, is that we are a self-policing community. That means that, you know, there's covenants that everybody is supposed to read, pay attention to, and everybody is supposed to maintain their property in accordance with the the covenants. And if we do that, everything will continue to run smoothly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, 10 more seconds. I'll use it for you. Another eye-opener for me since assuming this role was the ability to sit on the ARC meetings. And it was amazing to me the volume of requests that come to Jim and his team, Chris Gannon and Bob Frizzell, and the diligence that they put into their job. So, Jim, we really appreciate all the efforts from you and your committee. Moving forward, we have Dennis Fury, Chair of the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met on April 2nd, and the primary purpose of the meeting was to discuss the upcoming food and beverage minimum spending requirement. At the meeting, the committee voted unanimously to recommend to the Master Board that the food and beverage minimum remain the same at $600 for the term of October 1st, 2025 until September 30th, 2026. Thank you.
Dennis, that 600 is inclusive of food and beverage?
Food and beverage.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the report. Next up, Bob, are you going to be preparing a report? We do have a safety committee session a little later that perhaps you can just add on to that if you don't want to give a report now. Is that good? Good. Feel free to come up. Unless you.
Okay. How you doing, everyone? Happy Easter, everyone, this weekend. My name's Bob Perry. I live in Andover. I'm proud to serve in this committee. I have Deb and Mike here. I just heard Mike is coming back with us. So that's awesome. I just want to recognize Pam, Elaine, Laura. They're a part of my committee. We have some other gentlemen. So we have representation in every community. It's almost like, I call it like a jury trial. So we come in together. We listen to every one of you guys. If you guys have issues, you go to your homeowners association or your Andover. I represent Andover. And then we come back. We talk about it. And I'm more like the foreman. We start discussing. Sometimes we don't always agree. And we haven't gone forward really with anything that we mostly all agree. The stop signs are a little quiet, but everything else we've really agreed. We've had some very difficult situations. It's taken sometimes 4 or 5 weeks to get things done. But I just want to recognize them because they make my job so easy. Again, we started early this year. We started in October. I said to everyone, can we get away with just stopping about some of the security stuff and maybe try to help the community? I'm talking about evacuation plans. We're still working on that, but we got tied up with some other things. But we did get together, all the girls and the guys, and we created a beautiful, well, I thought it was a beautiful hurricane preparation pamphlet. And we're pleased to have Jessica. Is Jessica still here? But Jessica, I emailed Jessica, and she did a fantastic job. It made us all proud. I mean, I look at this, and I've been passing it out. I gave it to, what's that? Thank you. I actually was talking to Jimmy Spatz today about something else and that we're dealing with, and I sent it to him, and he was really thankful of it because it's really unique. Some things I didn't even recognize, like, whistles and fans with things, but we got information from outside. We talked to people that live here 12 months a year, And what do? I never even heard of about a fan that with a battery in it, because I was here in October and I was kind of stuck. I'm like, what do I got? I have enough beer, but how do I stay outside? So on to that, we decided to move on with these, try the crosswalks. We discussed them. Deb was kind enough, I didn't even know that she had equipment, so it wasn't even costing us anything. I thought we may go down there further, but it made more sense after talking to us all to go right here. So we tried right here. It seems to be working. I've watched them, and people are slowing down, and they're bright, and they redid the one on Cobblestone, and there's talk of another one maybe down the street later on. But I think it's working, and I appreciate Deb and everyone. I've got positive feedback from everybody about that one right there, stopping everybody. Like I said, we had talks with the single family homeowners, and it was turned over with Mike and Rick, and they handled it, and I got great feedback from them, from Mona and Buddy, and I think we're moving progress. We're trying to get things done to make the boulevard safe without going crazy. You know, right now we don't need all this craziness, so we're just trying to. But we need people to slow down. It's a lot of us. A lot of us take our own pride and slow down. I can show you stats. I get emails. Well, what are you going to do? You're trying to make my life miserable. I got to slow down if I come here and here. I can show you the stats from the last few years. It's only 67% of the people obey. I've been a police officer 36 years. I see that 23. I slow down. My wife always hit me. You're going 25, and I'm like, okay, but 30% of the people are going. I can tell you. Like 158 people over 50 miles an hour. That's insane. Let's not have another incident. We can all take our time, take a deep breath as we're traveling down, and so these guys our residents can go out and walk around. So there was alternative. You know, there's other people talk about this. We could have the police come. The police come in. What's going to happen? We're going to get nailed. Jim Spatz. They went up to another Arrowhead, and Arrowhead was saying, "Oh, it's all the people that are not members." Who were they nailing? All the residents. And Jim says they don't give warnings. They give tickets. There is a system working at Treviso Bay, a resident of ours, and I was doing a presentation at Andover, and he got whacked with a $100 ticket at Treviso Bay because there is machines out there. But do we want to get that point? No. If we all just, you know, I keep on telling everybody, lock your door, keep your valuables outside, and keep your condos locked, and don't leave nothing in the car. We're going to be good. We have a great community. We have great people, and the bad guys realize that. They don't come back, and they say Royal Wood locks up all their doors. We are getting hit with a lot of these fishing going on right now, people coming around fishing, and the kids on the bikes. And please listen to me here quickly. If it happens, if you see it, I know you want to go out and wring the net. I do too. Well, don't do that. Please don't. Take your time, call the number. If you don't have the number, call me. Put it in your phone. I put it in your phone. You know, 239-252-9300. Have it in there. And you see that and call the police. That happened today. A resident called me up, and what did I do? I called the sheriff. I called that number. I had to wait a couple of 10 seconds or so, but eventually got a corporal. And he asked me who I was and what the situation was. I said, we have a truck here fishing on Royal Wood Boulevard. I told him where it was. And what would you like done? I said, I don't want him arrested. I just want him to be noted. I want you to approach them and tell them this doesn't belong here. You can't do this. And he said, yes, and I want to be contacted back again. You asked you want to be contacted. So within a few minutes, the corporal said, I'm here. He asked me my position. And I just said, I'm a volunteer civilian with law enforcement experience, but I'm a chairperson of the Health and Safety Committee. He goes, but the only one that can really trespass somebody is the president. I said, well, I'm not the president, but please contact them, and they did. And I got a call back, and those people aren't going to come back fishing again. But it's very important. So I know it hurts to see if you see them out there, especially if they're riding bikes, but it'll work out. Teenagers, we're going to still work over the summer on different things. We're going to work on this evacuation plan. We're going to work on trying to give it out to some of the communities if they want to get involved with a neighborhood watch group. It's going to take a lot of work, but we're not going to go arrest people. There's do's and don'ts, and the sheriff's office, if we get enough people in some of the villages, they're going to come and do a presentation. And it's just keeping our noses busy. You know, I always say, if the back of your hair raises a little bit, then it's probably time to call the police because something's happening wrong. And it's nothing easy. We had an Andover meeting the other day, and the same thing came up there, speeding, people feeling unsafe about people coming in there in their community. In the summer, things can happen. People come in there, they use the pool, they cook out. I've seen them. I've seen people coming in from tennis and stuff like that. And I told them about, the sticker program that we're originally going to do, and the past president Gary mentioned that we maybe bring it back to the districts. So I wasn't even trying to do a proposal, but they voted on it right there in 5 minutes, and it's going through. So they're going to have Andover's going to have a sticker program where they make their own little stickers, and they're actually talking about speed bumps, but we don't need them right now. There is speeding as you go in there, but it'll work out. And again, I want to thank Gary from the past president for, we put this flock system. That was a big, a lot of people didn't want it. And the past board, and Gary was for it. And he listened to it. He listened to me and Deb, they all listened. And the system is working fantastic, when I tell you. It's like Jim Renner, when I first talked to Jim, he called it like a virtual gate. It's doing its job, 70% of the crime in the world is done by cars. We're not going to catch everything, but it is working. And the system is just improving. Now, I just did a training thing about 2 hours ago before I did a Zoom call for a teaching job. And it's down to now we can put a bicycle in there. So when someone comes in with a bicycle, and the place to go on pretty good. I think sometimes, but we'll go later on that I think we might need another camera down the street, even nothing fancy, not $20,000, but something to cover that side gate in case we get in people. The gate was broken this weekend, and I saw things I didn't like to see. Cars could come in. I seen one guy, he was like riffraff, but what else? I guess I just want to repeat tips about keeping your valuables out of your car. Lock your doors to your cars with the lobs, and lock your car doors. If we do that, we're going to be a really safe community. And I want to thank you all.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, next I'd like to invite Diane Hazara up to talk about the activities coming out of the Social Committee. Diane?
Good afternoon, Royalwood. I'm Diane Hazara, Chairman of the Social Committee, and I'd like to thank you all for your support of the social activities. Last Thursday, we just hosted a tour to the Rookery Bay. That's sponsored by the Conservatory of Southwest Florida. I have to say, it was a perfect evening for enjoying a guided tour and seeing the estuary and the wildlife that they offer there. We will be offering this again next season, as well as I've learned of a manatee boat tour that we can take that leaves from Port of the Islands. Next Monday, we will be hosting a line dancing class for beginners. It will be 5 to 6:30 in the fitness center. So signups will take place on the website. And this really is truly for beginners. We're going to do it over and over again until we get it. I hope that everyone has now seen the e-blast about the Kentucky Derby parades. This will take place on May 3rd, and we've created a new division this year. And this doesn't mean we don't want decorated golf carts. We still are aiming for 12 decorated golf carts, but we've added a division for bikes and electric bikes. So both those are welcomed. Both of those will need to sign up on the website to be eligible for the prizes. Once you are logged in, and this seems to be maybe the hard part, you have to log into the website until you see your name there. Once your name's there, then you know you're logged into and you're able to make a reservation. You're going to go to Member Central, and under Member Central, you're going to see events and calendar. And to sign up for the Derby, if you do that now, you're going to see April. So you have to scroll ahead to see May, because it's going to be on May 3rd. And you can register there. Judging will take place at 2:30 behind the cart barn, and the parade will take off at 3 o'clock. Those not in the parade will want to gather and tailgate with your friends and watch the parade go by. Prizes for both divisions will be awarded at 6 o'clock in the clubhouse, so make sure you come back after. At 6:15, we will have the ladies traditional hat parade. We will be choosing the most elegant and the most original. To add to the excitement, squares will be sold and cash prizes will be paid out at the end of the evening. Thanks to all who have responded to the survey last month. The committee is already met, and we're working to get your suggestions on the calendar for next year. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Diane. Okay, rounding out the standing committee reports, next up we have our immediate past president, Gary Norbaum, and soon-to-be chair of the 2028 Golf Course Renovation Project Ad Hoc Committee.
Thank you, President Murphy. I thought I retired, but you gave me a job. Pretty much the last 2 years, the renovation committee has been composed of myself and the course superintendent. Because there was no need to activate it at that time. We were simply just too far out in the future get started in the process. However, now we're 3 years away from putting shovels in the ground here. So now is the time that we're going to have to make some preparations and get ready to work on the golf course with plans and financing to make this possible. 3 weeks ago, Ori Andrews, the course superintendent, and I went out on the golf course and got out our notepads and our sketch pads, and we went through every hole and we wrote up some suggestions for the golf course that possibly could be included in the renovation. Our priorities that we were addressing when we were looking at every hole was, number one, we want to maintain the challenging original design of Royal Wood. We can't change a lot of the holes here just simply because we're landlocked and surrounded by homes and condos virtually on every hole. But we want to try to keep the original design intact as much as possible. We want to make the course more fun and fair to play. I know there's some things out there that frustrates us all, and the last renovation was in 2008. So we're looking at some possibilities, once again, to keep this challenging and make the course more fun and fair to play. We also want to increase the visual beauty of Royal Wood. Some of the things we're considering will make the course pop even more than it does right now when we played it. And I'm sure a lot of you have played reciprocals all down here in the Naples and Fort Myers area. I will always hold the visual beauty, the framing, the background of our course to any other country club here in Southwest Florida. So we want to keep that and yet make it better. And the last thing we want to do is decrease our maintenance time and costs. We think we can accomplish this with the regrassing of a different blend of grass on the golf course and maybe removing some features that takes Ori's crew anywhere from 5 to 8 hours a day to work on. So those are the things, some of the suggestions we've come up with. These are the priorities that we're looking at. Some of our suggestions will be disseminated by both the course architect and the committee as the process goes forward here. So that is initially what Ori and I have done to this point. 2 weeks ago, we brought in an architect, and his name was Mr. David Wetchell. He was part of Dr. Herdison's team that constructed the course almost 40 years ago here in a couple years. Also, Mr. Wetchell was a part of the 2008 renovation, like I said. So his knowledge of the course, his recall of all the holes and some of the challenges we have faced, both 40 years ago and in 2008, was kind of remarkable when we had a meeting with him here. After the meeting here in the office, Mike Murphy, Ori, and Mr. Wetchell went out on the golf course and did a hole-by-hole review, looking at some of our suggestions, and we're listening to some of his suggestions, too, that could make this place an even greater golf course. So that's what we've done to date. Pending committee approval, hopefully later in the meeting here, we'll get to work this week and have a meeting and start tackling the process. And during the last 2 years, both Ori and Kevin Ackerman, his predecessor here, have been giving the Finance Committee, the board updates on the increasing costs for a golf course renovation. So that way, both entities have been starting the process of adequately reserving or funding our reserves here, so we'll be prepared for it. And the goal of both the Renovation Committee and the board and the Finance Committee is hopefully that there will be no member assessment for this, and that we will reserve this out properly in advance, so the members will not see an assessment for the renovation in 2028. Does the board have any questions?
Doesn't look like.
That's even better yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary, appreciate it. Okay, last but not least, I think you all are aware that in addition to our standing committees at Royalwood, we also have associations. The board does not nominate or vote on the rosters of those associations. They're standalone associations. We heard a lot from Jim about the Men's and Ladies Golf Association. So the only other association that we have is our Tennis Association. And I'd like to invite up Donna Haggett. Are you still going to be providing the update? Or I see that Christine's back from her trip, but you're still going to do it?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to see everybody. I'm Donna Haggett. I live in Cranbrook, and I am the co-captain with Chris Ludwig for the Tennis Association. I came to Royalwood in 2020 with the avowed intention of baking bread and binge-watching Yellowstone. And very quickly, somebody asked me if I wanted to play tennis. I said yes, and my whole life has changed. So I played tennis. That led me to golf, that led me to pickleball, biking. It's been just a wonderful experience. Now I bought here, I live in Cranbrook. So I don't know if you guys know this, but the Tennis Association is 35 years old. It's been around since 1990, and for all that time, it's been sponsoring tennis on the main courts here from Monday to Saturday, 8 o'clock in the morning till 10:30 in the morning for the last 35 years. And the women play Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The guys play Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Thursday is sometimes a mixed doubles format, so we get to, commingle and see each other. On Monday mornings, we also send out some people on our travel tennis team, and they go around to the various communities like Foxfire, Glades, Countryside, Cedar Hammock, and we do battle with people in other, in other communities. It's good for competition, and it's good also to see what other programs are doing and what other facilities look like. And it's always fun. When Jim was speaking, I was laughing to myself because golf has a lot of tournaments, and we seem to have a lot of social events. So in addition, so it's like maybe we should get a little bit more tournaments going, but that's, for next year. In an effort to help everybody in the community, we also sponsor tennis lessons on Wednesday afternoons with Coach Elias. It's free to everybody in the community. He has a really good way of welcoming in new players and also, people who just decide they want to play tennis again. And he's really good at coordinating different levels of tennis, expertise, if you will. And that's been a real boon to all of us. We also come back from travel tennis and tell about the problems that we had with the teams that we played, and we practice on that also. We do like to socialize, so we start off every season with a breakfast. We all get together, we kibitz, we, share our stories from the winter and from the summer and get ready for the winter. We also do every 3 or 4 weeks an event underneath the lights outside again on the main courts. And we socialize, we do a round robin format. As soon as we get the lights up on the second court, it'll be a little bit more well-rounded activity because we'll have, we can play, for 2 courts instead of 1. And we even had a golf outing. Everybody kept asking me, why is the tennis association playing golf? But we do here. People do other activities. And we did have a really wonderful turnout from the people in the tennis association. And on the 9th hole, you had to putt with a tennis racket, which I can tell you is not as easy as it sounds. It was, I thought it would be easy and it wasn't. It was just, and then another wonderful, I know this is more social, and then Diane Hazara came up with a great idea to utilize the main courts for a music event, and we worked in conjunction with her and the social committee, and it was really wonderful. People brought their own chairs. We had music. We spent all night socializing. Jean had food for us. There was a bar out there. And it was really fun. And again, this would be open to the whole community, not just, the tennis association. So that was another fun thing that we did. And then in closing, I would be remiss if I did not bring up the ongoing discussion about changing the surface of the main courts. It came up about 3 years ago. We've been going around and around. Everybody, the Facilities Planning Committee, the board, the Tennis Association, everybody's been involved in trying to figure out what the hell we do with these courts. Do we kick the can down the road and we don't do anything and we keep it the way it is? Or do we change it over to accommodate pickleball, which everybody is playing, including everybody on the tennis associations? And it comes down to, in my estimation, best use of those courts for our community. And so you have to look at the community as a whole. We also have to look at our finances, which is, another key component of this whole decision that we're coming up to. And then trying to thread the needle for everybody's preferences. Some people are older, some people want a faster court, so they want more competition. Some people don't want any change at all, and it's hard to change everybody's mind or get, a consensus. And so it's been, I can tell you, a tough road because you're trying to please everybody. So there's lots of considerations on that, and we'll figure out what the best use is for our community, which I think is the overall goal for all of us. So thank you. Hope to see you on the courts doing something, either, listening to music, or you can bring a boombox even and we can play tennis, it'll be fine. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Donna, very well. Okay, our next agenda item is the open forum for members of the Royal Wood Master Association that register to speak on agenda items included on today's agenda. We ask that you please try to keep your comments to approximately 3 minutes. And I'm going to start with the first person who registered to speak, and that is Jeff Johns. Jeff would like to speak on the proposal on what Donna just referenced, the pickleball courts or the tennis courts.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for the opportunity I'd just like to put in my support for hearty support in the resurfacing of the tennis courts to also make it available for the pickleball players to also play on those courts. It just means additional lines there. I've played a lot of different golf courses, travel teams, tournaments, and I'll be honest with you, everywhere I go. They've commingled pickleball and tennis, and had the courts where those two activities could use those courts. And so I would very heartily support us resurfacing. I've also come to learn that the resurfacing that might be proposed here is already at the US Open. That's what they use for the tennis in New York. So, I mean, everybody should be pretty happy with the surface. But I'll just say this, I live up in Virginia, and we have a community up there. It's over 55 community. And probably about 5 years ago, there was a proposal to move on to letting people play pickleball up there, and they resurfaced tennis courts and had the additional lines so that everybody could play. At the beginning, there was some thought that maybe the two couldn't co-mingle on the courts and work things out and have schedules. It's absolutely been no problem for 5 years, and all it's done is just allow more people to use the facilities at the club and have more events and more activity. And I just kind of saw it, Deb, as like an opportunity. I can just see pickleball and tennis and more people up here. And when you have more people up here at the club, it might mean a little bit more revenue for the club and just more people enjoying things. So I'd just like to voice my support. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Next person to register is Colin Bell, and Carl is also going to be speaking about pickleball.
Thank you. We moved here, yes, Patty, what, 2012? I was a tennis player, been a tennis player for a long time. I met a guy who's about now 82 years old, probably the most fit guy in Royalwood, by the name of Cole Felser. Cole introduced me to pickleball, and I jumped in with both feet. I learned how to play. I am now a USA pickleball ambassador for my state, in New Jersey. I took the game back to New Jersey. We live on Long Beach Island, which is an 18-mile barrier island. Had a lot of tennis courts that were underutilized. I started pickleball with a group of people. Long Beach Island is made up of about 6 different towns all the way up the island. We started in one town. We now have all 6 towns have pickleball courts. 4 of them are pickleball courts that are lined from tennis courts where both sports take place. So I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. I will also tell you that right now, the demographics show the 2 biggest gains in pickleball right now are women from 35 to 50 and teenagers that are now playing it. It's part of a curriculum, PE curriculum, in high schools and middle schools. I've also been fortunate enough to I've been the referee coordinator for the US Open over here for the last 9 years. This year, they will have 3,600 people will play in the US Open just in about 2 weeks, okay? My guess is if we do this, you will meet people you will have never met before. Because right now, people are playing in their own communities in the different villages. If you had access to courts up here, like I said, you'll meet people you have never met before, you'll make new friends, and I can attest to the fact that tennis and pickleball can coexist. I would also say to the board that I think you have a fiduciary responsibility to look at the numbers of how many people play tennis and what it would cost just to stripe those. And my guess is, in a year, we'll have more people up here than you can handle. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carl. Next person to register to speak is Andreas Heldman. And Andreas is also going to be speaking to the pickleball tennis subject.
Yeah, I appreciate the comments, both Carl and Jeff, about pickleball and your thoughts on it. I heartily agree. Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the country, probably. And we do need pickleball up here. I'm all in favor of that. However, resurfacing those courts to be a dual purpose is the wrong way to approach it, okay? Because the fact is, and I think you even saw this at the meeting, Debbie, you spoke about, that pickleball and tennis tend to get into battles with the players when you're trying to share court space. And I'm going to go through a list of names for you. We have Countryside, Cedar Hammock, Foxfire, Naples Heritage, Glen Eagle. All of these are similar bundled communities around us. All of them, in the past few years, to accommodate pickleball, have not said, let's take out our tennis courts, okay, which are clay tennis courts, all right? What they've done is they've added a pickleball court, all right? That's what all of these communities have done. Recognize that we don't want to hurt the tennis community by taking out the soft surface, and the surface, by the way, we should have here, which is clay, all right? But put in a separate pickleball facility. So that's where we should be going. By making this a dual surface, we're falling further behind as a community. Because, first of all, we have an antiquated tennis surface, all right? And I tell you this as somebody who organized tennis teams for 30 years, both up north and down here. All of the tennis that's played in Southwest Florida, every community, golf, bundled golf, non-bundled golf, they all have clay tennis courts. The money we have in the budget should be put to doing that with these courts, and we should be looking to raise the money or allocate the money to put in separate pickleball courts. That's the proper way to address this problem, okay? If we just make this a dual surface, okay, we've hurt the tennis community because we don't have the right proper surface that Southwest Florida recognizes for tennis players, older tennis players, and yes, we do have pickleball added up here, but you're not achieving both goals, all right? You mentioned the US Open, which I used to attend every year. I'm from Manhattan, by the way, so I used to bring my son every year to the US Open. That's top-level athletes playing on what's called a rebound ace court, okay? Is it better than this surface? You know, arguably, I could argue the merits each way. It's better than a concrete court that we have in the surrounding villages of cobblestone. All villages have concrete courts. It's much better than that, yes. But it is not clay. And that's what people really want to play on down here in Southwest Florida. I understand there's a ladies' team that still goes around to other communities. The men's team, which I was part of for many years here at Royal Wood, we played other communities, and other communities towards the end of my time on that team were refusing to play on our tennis courts because they were afraid of injury. And all of those other communities had clay tennis courts. So again, I'm all for pickleball. I think we should be adding pickleball. I have many friends who play pickleball. My house is filled in April when this tournament comes, okay, from guests that come from out of town to visit and play in this tournament. It is the fastest growing sport, but the way to address this problem is not to make a dual court surface. It's to put the proper court surface on here for tennis, which will improve our tennis, okay, and then add a separate pickleball courts. Yes, does that cost more money? It does, all right? But the answer is not always the path of least resistance. It is not always the cheapest path. You have to look at what's best in the long run. And in the long run, doing both of those things is what's best for Royal Wood. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Andreas. The last individual that registered to speak is Don Luffy, and Don is also going to be speaking about the tennis court resurfacing project.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Donald Luffy, and I've been a member of the Royalwood Tennis Association for 14 years. And I'd like to speak about the proposed tennis resurfacing. I agree with him 100%. We need the new pickleball courts, but we don't need to replace what we have with pickleball. I've talked to many of the men tennis players, and we are not in favor of what you are proposing. It should have been, they had a couple meetings, or at least one meeting, and the information was not shared to all the membership. I think that I was the only one that got a letter that told the results of what transpired in the meeting. We feel that we weren't properly represented in that meeting. And of course, we still want the lights and the windscreens to be replaced because that was the original plan, and they're already approved. We're waiting. The lights, electricity is in. The poles are here. We're ready to put them up. Now, we're against this change of the surface to the lake-hold surface for several reasons. Number one, the safety aspect. The men who are using both courts every Tuesday and Saturday morning at 8 to 10, we are older players, and the current surface is easy on our knees, which enabled us to continue playing tennis as we aged. Most of our players are in their late 70s and early 80s, and the proposed surface will not be forgiving. Adding pickleball lines to the tennis courts will make more difficult play, and the older players may lead to accidents or falls. But so far, luckily, we have not had any injuries in recent years. Item number two, the need. It seems that most of Royalwood condo associations have adapted to sharing the courts during the busy season, and this being one, no one is being turned away, according to the Team Reach application that everybody has access to. Due to 656 owners who have already paid their condo fees for the installation of pickleball courts in their condominiums, feel they need pickleball courts. Do they understand that they will now be paying again for 2 more pickleball courts? Item number 3, it's not just lines that we're going to be putting in. The current surface has to be completely removed. A new surface has to be put down that will cost a whole lot more than I expect that they've estimated the cost at. The current surface was not scheduled to be resurfaced until 2028. The surface does not need to be replaced. What's the hurry? Are you looking to get rid of the older players? Do the condo owners understand that the money, approximately $100 per door, will be coming out of the Royalwood reserves, these reserve savings accounts? And it's already in their best interest of keeping it in the reserve account. We have a suggestion. It's been 3 years since the Facilities Planning Commission actually went to the membership and asked what they felt with respect to Royalwood's current needs. Before any actions take place, each community should be polled against for whatever the current Royalwood needs are. Our pickleball courts really at the top of our list. I sent a copy to every member of the board in hopes that each member would get feedback from the communities they represent before the decision is made. And I'm asked to speak at this meeting because of that. We own 2 properties here in Royalwood. One is a condo in Amberley and the other is a home here. And my 2 representatives have not talked to me about anything about the current tennis court resurfacing program. Now I'd like to read a letter that's written to us from one of the members, and he couldn't be here today. It's Ernie Nicole, who lives in Amberley Unit E205. And Ernie starts off saying, as a tennis player and pickleball player, Amberley, let me share my point of view regarding this issue. There is a human cost related to any decision to replace a slower surface and safer surface with a hard court. The proposed lake hold surface is a hard court surface. He said, I visited a recreation area in North Naples where that has been installed. It looks to me like a hard surface. He says, I hit some balls on it. It feels to me like a hard court surface, and it acts like a hard court surface. He said he talked to somebody who played on it often, and he described the hard court as a hard court. So what does that matter? It matters a lot to a certain category of tennis players that have existed throughout Royal Wood's history, exist today, and demographically will always exist. These players are somewhat older, and their bodies have a few more physical challenges than the average, but they love tennis. It wasn't long ago that Joe Rinaldi was playing well into his 90s. Many of us remember the very shy smile that Joe would give you when he hit a winner, and one of the present players have only won goodbye everybody else, and he loved playing tennis, and we loved him. Many of the players in this group that I described should not continue playing tennis if the only option is a hard surface. They will therefore be denied an activity that people like them throughout the years have enjoyed, reducing the number of helpful physical activities available to groups of our brothers and sisters, some contrary to the fundamental mission of Royalwood. There are many pickleball courts here at Royalwood, and each village would welcome homeowners, as we do in Amberley, that would be ample choices for them to play. The homeowners who play with us are an integral part of our pickleball community. I would hate to see them leave. As far as observing pickleball matches, a mile or so from here, one can go to one of the finest pickleball facilities in the world to watch it any time that you would like. I would hope that those who ultimately decide the issue will look at the points that I've just made in this letter and make a decision for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Okay, that concludes the open forum session of today's meeting. I'd like to quickly move to the old business agenda item. I'm going to be very quick on this item because Bob Perroway in his report spoke quite a bit about this. But to cover the fact that at the March annual meeting of the association, it was brought to the board's attention that the survey that the safety committee put forth to the board was not acted on, and asked the board to look into the matter. As Bob had indicated, following that March 10th meeting on March 18th, some members of the board, including Mike Murphy and myself, Mike being the representative from the Single Family Homeowners Association that was the group that raised the issue at our annual meeting, so it was appropriate for Mike to participate as well as me. We met with Bob Perroway to review the survey, understand the real intentions of the survey, what we were trying to accomplish with that, and also talked about the challenges of the survey. A lot of the questions really require significant background information to be able to make a well-informed selection on those surveys. That's not to say that we were, in the board, was diminishing the need for feedback from the members, but it was clear that there was some immediate action that we could take. We as a community, the board and the safety committee and the members could take to address the core issues that Bob and his group, his committee intended to cover in that survey. So we discussed about what are some of those immediate opportunities to improve pedestrian safety when crossing Royalwood Boulevard to get to the clubhouse, as well as to control the speeding that's taking place on a consistent basis in the community. Bob talked about the crosswalks. That was the first step as a result of that meeting. We have found that those crosswalks have helped slow down traffic on the boulevard, as well as provide members the access to the clubhouse. And the reason why the crosswalk was here is to encourage pedestrians and members to cross here so that they can access this pedestrian walkway to go to the tennis courts, to go to the pool, to go to the pro shop, to go to the fitness center, and avoid having to go up the driveway where cars are coming in continuously during the course of the day. So that was the first thing we accomplished. We then proceeded to actually repaint the crosswalk at the intersection of Cobblestone Lane and Royalwood Boulevard. Again, with the intention of slowing down traffic. And one of the things that seems to have been working well is the reflectors that are also by those crosswalks. So that was a good first step. There are other opportunities that we've discussed with the Safety Committee, such as maybe there's more opportunity to put these flashing 23 or flashing signs that tell you what your speed is at other strategic points around the boulevard. And also, we also discussed the merits of having the Sheriff's Department come in and assist in slowing down the traffic in here through speed control mechanisms. So we believe that there are a lot of opportunities to do that. We also looked at the stop signs and the speed humps as options, and we really did a lot of research to understand, are those effective? And what we found is they're not extremely effective. They're effective in slowing down traffic at the speed hump or at the stop sign, but research has indicated that it also results in motorists accelerating quickly as soon as they get over the speed hump or as soon as they go through the stop sign. So is it really addressing that root cause issue? Or are there other things that we can do to more effectively do that? As a result of that work, we then followed up with the Single Family Homeowners Association Chairperson Mona Elias and Buddy Kula from the association to review the progress that we made, because they were the one that brought the attention of this issue to the members. And we share with that. They were very supportive of the work that was done and agreed that we were moving down the right path. We'll continue to find ways to address these issues going forward, but I'm reporting today that we made progress, and I think we've gotten good feedback from both Bob and his committee, as well as the single-family homeowners. So with that, I'll move to the new business section of our agenda. We have 4 items to discuss, as I mentioned earlier. The first is a summary of the, I'm sorry, I'm just losing track here a bit. After the summary of our presentation on new business, I'll be asked for a motion to be followed by seconds. So just the process as we work through these 4 actions that require board approval. The steps are, we ask for a motion on the proposal. We ask for a second. We ask then to engage in discussions on the proposal, and then we go to a vote, yes or no, on the proposal. So each of these actions, we're going to be following that process. So the first item under new business is the final review, discussion, and approval of the revised Royalwood Vision, Mission, and Value Statement. As I referenced earlier in the meeting, over the last month, the board has worked very hard together to review and refine the association's vision, mission, and value statement to ensure the document reflects the high standards that make Royalwood a great place to live while adapting to the needs of all residents, both long-term members and newer members. After 5 iterations of building a revised statement, I believe all board members are supportive and committed to the proposed vision, mission, and value statement that is included in the meeting booklet that was distributed to all board members. So I'll ask if we have a motion to approve the revised Royalwood Vision, Mission, and Value Statement that is in your meeting booklets. Anyone make the motion? I'll make that motion. Mike Fahey makes a motion. A second, please? Tim Shales on the phone seconds the motion. Any discussion? Apparently not. So we'll go to the vote. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously, and we'll proceed to the second item. The second item under our new business is the approval of the proposed 2025-2026 Royalwood Standing Committees and their rosters, which are included in the meeting booklet, starting on page 11. The names and positions in the document highlighted in yellow represent new appointments, and blue highlighted sections represent committees with vacancies. The two committees' names highlighted in green represents new proposed committees. So before asking for a motion on this matter, I would like to provide some brief remarks on the two proposed committees. The proposed House Committee is a proposed subcommittee of the Facilities Planning Committee in responses to requests that the board has received from members who have provided constructive feedback on opportunities to enhance the look and feel of our clubhouse and adjacent areas of the association's main campus. Other than our general manager, there is no one staff member here who has the responsibility for this function. The proposed committee would work closely with the general manager in the community to evaluate and propose opportunities to enhance the appearance of our main campus. More details on the House Committee can be found in the board booklet in the charter that is included in your board booklet. The second committee highlighted in green in 2020 is the 2028 Golf Course Renovation Project, and it's proposed as an ad hoc committee. This is not necessarily a new committee, but its title has been revised to an ad hoc committee since its life will expire at the completion of the project. The roster of the committee has been expanded over the last year to include members that have expertise in golf course renovation and have expressed interest in participating in the committee. The roster may evolve as the project timeline advances. So with that, do I have a motion to approve the proposed 2025-2026 Royalwood committees and rosters? Jeff Clark makes the motion. Is there a second? Second. Mike Murphy seconds. Any discussion? Yes.
Are we approving all the committees or one by one?
We're approving all of the committees that are presented in the proposed roster and committees that were included in your meeting booklet, Jamshed.
Okay, we just had a discussion, a lengthy discussion about tennis courts. There's no mention of the tennis committee.
The standing committees are in the first several pages of the document.
No, tennis.
The associations are included in the pages that follow the standing committees. We do not, the board does not approve the members of associations.
No, I'm sorry, there's no mention of the tennis committee in the list.
It is a tennis association. It is not a standing committee of the Master Association.
Okay.
Any other comments? Okay. All in favor of approving the 2025-2026 Royal Committee and rosters, do I hear a motion? Do we have a motion? We have a motion. Okay. Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, A? All in favor, A? All opposed, nay?
Nay.
Okay. On a vote of 5-1, the motion passes. Next item is to have a motion to approve the Finance Committee's recommendation to keep the 2026 food and beverage minimum policy consistent with the 2025 policy of $600, including food and beverage. Do I have a motion for approval of this? Mike Fahili makes the motion. Is there a second? Rick Various seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes unanimously. The final item under new business is a review and approval of a proposed plan for enhancing the utilization of the Master Association's existing tennis courts for dual-purpose play of tennis and pickleball. I'd like to call on Mike Murphy, the 2024-2025 Board Liaison to the Facilities Planning Committee, to provide a presentation on the proposed plan. The capital project proposal form that is included in the board meeting booklet provides more information on the proposed project that Mike will cover in just a minute. Mike?
Good afternoon again. Thank you, Mr. President. And also thank you to everyone who came up and had comments about this issue of, yeah, thanks. About the issue of resurfacing the tennis courts. But first, I'd like to start quickly by just talking about the Facilities Planning Committee and where they've been and where they're going, and kind of a view of what we see happening here at the club. We started the committee in 2022, and I think back. Yes, I would. Can you hear me now? All right. I hope that's the last time I say that. 2022, it's amazing that these 3 years have gone by and how quickly time does go by. You know, everyone seems to feel that same thing, and like the old saying goes, you know, as you get older, time just goes by faster. And we've been talking about several projects that the community have expressed interest in getting taken care of. And those projects, you know, really all revolve around making our life better here at Royal Wood. But overall, it's really about how do we use the facility and how do we use the space that's provided to us here. Unfortunately, we don't have acres, we don't have trees to cut down, we don't have anywhere to go. We need to utilize the space that we have, and we need to do a real good job at that. And that's our challenge. And so one of the key things that the Planning Facilities Committee has been talking about is the wall that separates the dining room and the grill room. Now, that wall originally was meant to be a retractable wall, and so that it could open and close, and so it could bring these two rooms together. And that didn't happen. So we've been talking now for 3 years about that wall. And it's about time we do something. We can't keep talking about this stuff and not acting on this stuff, because before you know it, we're gonna run out of time, right? So I think that the talk about the wall, you know, and utilizing the space that we have kind of, you know, brings us to the same problems we have when we talk about other amenities like tennis and like pickleball. The tennis facility that we currently have, unfortunately, is only used 2 hours every day. So it sits out there, it takes up over 20% of the space that we have available to us, and quite frankly, not many people get a chance to ever use that facility, use the tennis courts. And so the question to me, it's not so much about pickleball and tennis, it's about how are we gonna manage our future? How are we gonna build equity, shareholder equity in Royal Wood if we continue to have dysfunctional spaces? We really can't. So we have to address the grill room and the dining room. We have to address what's happening outdoors at the tennis courts. We started the discussion about the tennis courts 3 years ago. We met with the Tennis Association people. There were several meetings, in fact, and it was quite clear at that time that the Tennis Association did not want to share the tennis courts with the pickleball, and everyone understood that. That problem is the problem that's been going on the last 3 years all around the country. So, quite frankly, we said, well, you know, we don't want to upset the tennis community. We love all the people that play tennis, and it's all great. So 3 years later, we're standing here talking about it. And what happened over the past 3 years? Nothing really changed. More people aren't using the tennis courts. There's not more activities happening up here surrounding the use of that space. And so the way I view it is from a couple different things. Number one, from a financial standpoint. Number two, as a shareholder in Royal Wood, what is the best approach for Royal Wood to take on this? Clearly, from a financial standpoint, the Facilities Planning Committee did their due diligence, and they went out and they looked at how much it would cost us to build separate pickleball courts. Andreas felt strongly about that that's the way to go. Wouldn't it be terrific to go that way? The other communities that sit on 600 acres knock trees down and build more tennis courts, and they build more pickleballs. So,
Andreas, you had your opportunity to make comments in the open forum. Please allow Mr. Murphy to continue with his presentation. Thank you.
yeah, I think if you let me continue, Andreas, you're going to find that I couldn't agree more with you. Okay, so in the same fashion that you made our point for us, I'll make the point for you. We need pickleball up here at the main facility. To build separate pickleball courts would cost $500,000. So we'd have pickleball courts at the cost of $500,000, and we'll have tennis courts that are used 10 hours a week, versus having a multi-use tennis court racquetball program. The thing about the court surface, I believe that the day, and I don't know what day it was, Andreas, you may, when they decided to put this surface down, but the day that they decided to put the surface down was the day that tennis began losing its breath here at Royal Wood. Because tennis players don't play on that type of a surface. They just don't. And so when I look at this new surface that we're proposing, it's not only great for the tennis players, but it's great for pickleball. And it's a new surface that's being used more and more places. And I think that what it would do, I think by us doing that, we're going to leapfrog over our competitors, because we're going to have new, modern surface, this gel surface, that is a cushioned surface, that does help with safety. And so I think that like I said, I think from a strictly financial standpoint, it makes all the sense in the world for a place like Royal Wood. I mean, here's a place that we're talking about renovating a golf course, a major renovation in 3 years from now. Let's get this done. Let's get the pickleball tennis situation done. And I think that it will enhance the tennis program. I think that we'll see more people playing tennis. And I do believe with Carl that you'll see pickleball players up here all day using the facility and talking about more tournaments, talk about things like that. How about if we had a pickleball tennis league, like we have a golf league, women's and men's? How about that? How about bringing people up here to play all day? So rather than every afternoon, just like today, when you come by, there's no one here. Empty. Empty. It's gorgeous out right now. Gorgeous out. It was gorgeous out yesterday too, and the day before, and the day before. It's been gorgeous out. You've been able to play pickleball for months. So I think that to kind of wrap this up, and I've been going on, but I think that what we're proposing for the board to consider is to resurface the 2 existing tennis courts with the lake hold surface that's suitable for both tennis and pickleball play. The intent is to increase recreational flexibility and usage while maintaining the integrity of the existing facility. The scope is to resurface the 2 tennis courts with the lay-cold cushioned surface. Court number 1 will be lined exclusively for tennis. Court number 2 will be dual lined for tennis with 2 pickleball courts. Tennis play Monday through Saturday, 8:30 to 10:30 will stand. Tennis will have their normal hours to use those courts. After that is when it's open for all of the other tennis players that now want to play on a nice new hard court surface, and for all the pickleball players that want to come out and play. A joint tennis pickleball association should be considered. I think that we, especially here, I hear a lot of tennis players also play pickleball. So I think having one joint association would be a great thing. And again, you'll meet new people, and you'll be able to figure out on your own how to use the beautiful tennis courts that we'll have. And so it makes sense to me. The justification, of course, is it enhances versatility and maximizes the use of recreational space. And that's what's important. Financial impact. Estimated cost not to exceed $82,000. The funding source is the Capital Reserve Fund. The budget impact is that it's within budget. There will be no assessment for this. And so from a financial standpoint, we move into a brand-new tennis surface, we move into pickleball and tennis at the main clubhouse, and we use the funds that we already have in the reserve. So I think it's a win-win for Royal Wood. I think it's a win-win for tennis, pickleball. Even those that don't play it, it's a win-win because it enhances the value of Royal Wood. And so that's what I think about. And when we talked about our mission statement and our new vision statement, it's interesting how having that document allowed us to kind of go through this process and come up with what the right solution is. It really helped us in determining our job is determine what's right for the community as a whole. Not individuals, the community as a whole. And as you become familiar with the new mission statement, I think that you'll realize where we're coming from with this. And so I'm asking the board to make a motion to approve this.
Do I have a?
Can we have a discussion?
The discussion follows a motion and a second. Do I have a motion to approve the proposed plan as presented by Mike Murphy? Jeff Clark makes a motion. Is there a second? Rick Veria seconds the motion. Discussion. Ms. Jamshed.
Mike,
Do you have your microphone on?
Mike, there is no doubt that pickleball is getting very popular, and tennis is getting. We got a memo from the president that you two approached the tennis committee, tennis association, and they approved this expediting the resurfacing.
Yes, that's true. Let me just, we
So
met.
let me just complete it. From discussions now, it looks like the majority of the tennis people didn't even know that the discussion was going on.
Just a point of clarification, Jamshed. Mike, as the board liaison from the Facilities Planning Committee, was the appropriate board member to join myself in a discussion with the president and vice president of the Tennis Association to see if there was an opportunity to find a solution where we could achieve the objective of utilizing this valuable piece of property more effectively to accomplish the goals of all members. Understanding that this is not the ideal solution because we've heard various feedback from members. So I need to clarify that that was a discussion that Mike and I had to see if there was an opportunity to have a common solution. We then proceeded to talk to the representatives of the Facilities Planning Committee that were tasked to evaluate opportunities to advance pickleball on the main campus. As a result of those two discussions, we went back and forth and landed on this plan that was a consensus of the vice president and president of the Tennis Association in the Facilities Planning Committee. It would be next to impossible if we tried to engage every single member, although it would be nice, to try to reach a consensus. We tried to do it in the most efficient way possible. So I needed to clarify that statement.
Well, and I want to thank you for bringing it up, because I failed to mention how much gratitude I have to the Tennis Association president and vice president for meeting with us and being open-minded about this and being truthful about what really is right for Royal Wood as a whole, not just for the Tennis Association. And they deserve a heck of a lot of credit. And so we did bargain in good faith. And that's why we were able to finally say, let's not push this down the road again for another year. We're running out of time. Let's get it going, and let's start using it and making Royal Wood better.
Jeff Shedd, I want to go back to you. You were in the middle of making a comment before I had made a clarifying statement, so please continue.
Sorry, say that again?
I wanted to turn things back over to you. You were in the middle of making your comments before I made that clarifying
I'm
statement,
not
so please
finished.
continue.
I'm not finished.
No, please continue.
The issue is not whether to convert the tennis courts to dual purpose. The issue is when. And according to your memo that you sent, you said you discussed with the president and vice president of the Tennis Association. Now I realize that there are many members of the Tennis Association who are not in favor of that. So I'm suggesting let the Tennis Association get together with their own members and come up with a consensus, yea or nay, and then present it to the board. And we don't have to make a decision today. We can make a decision after they come up with the plans.
Okay. Any other comments? Rick, use the mic, please.
Can't hear me?
Yeah.
Are there going to be standard times for the pickleball if it so goes through like there is tennis? Or is it just limited to tennis only between those times? Or are we going to have a standard time for the pickleball players?
Mike, I don't know if you mentioned as part of the discussions with the two groups, the Tennis Association, the Facilities Planning Committee, there was a suggestion, if we did move forward, that it would make sense to actually have a new association for both, to promote both tennis and pickleball. And that association would help address some of the points that you're mentioning, Rick, about schedules beyond the schedule that was guaranteed to the Tennis Association that Mike had alluded to. So if we were to move forward, it seems to make sense that it would, having a joint tennis pickleball association to actually advance the play of both tennis and pickleball would be appropriate. Does that answer your question, Rick?
Yeah, that answers the question on that. And then the second question was, I know up north that in the town that I live in about pickleball late in the evening or early first thing in the morning, which probably won't be an option here, but late in the evening with the noise factor. Have the residents adjacent to the courts been asked about these noise issues that could possibly arise?
That has not happened yet, although we would, particularly in the period of time where it's not daylight savings time, we would have some regulations or constraints as to how long we would actually have lights on the new courts to play either tennis or pickleball. So we would have to certainly address that matter as well. Absolutely.
One more.
Yes.
One more.
Keep going.
We talked about different surfaces, clay surfaces, which I assume clay surfaces are very high maintenance items. looking at the bocce courts that we have here, how much maintenance the clay courts take or the sand courts take. This new Lycoid course, what is the maintenance procedure and cost associated with that?
Yeah, it's very low maintenance and very low cost to maintain it, and it's very durable and long-lasting. So it's clearly not, it doesn't require the maintenance that a Ha-Tru type court would take.
Thanks, Rick. Any other comments? Tim, can you hear us on the connection? I just want to make sure that we can hear you and that ask if you have any comments that you would like to make.
You know, Naples is the pickleball capital of the world. And we were talking about all the people that have come down here. And certainly these people, you know, majority of these pickleball players started with tennis, and I'm sure probably still do both. Do we know what the surface is at the court that holds the national event? Is that surface that's holding the national event similar to the surface that we're proposing? Because it would seem to me that if that's the case, we're definitely on the right track. And I'm kind of got the feeling, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we're talking about a surface that's similar. Does anyone know the answer to that question?
Carl, would you know the answer to the question? Do you know if the surface is the same as what is being proposed for this surface here? You don't know, okay. Yeah. It is not. Okay, did you hear that, Tim?
I did not. Repeat that, please.
Mike, could you just repeat?
Yeah, Tim, the surface at Naples pickleball courts is not the same surface that we're recommending here. The surface that we're recommending here is a much upgraded surface.
So it's actually, you could make the argument that it's actually a better surface.
It's definitely better.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, any other comments, questions from the board members? Okay, hearing none, let's proceed to the vote. We have a motion and a second. So all in favor of moving forward with the proposal for utilizing the Master Association's existing tennis courts for dual-purpose plan of tennis and pickleball. Do we have a vote on that? All in favor, say yay.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the vote passes 4-2. We will proceed with having the general manager connect with the appropriate vendors to get finalized quotes on the proposed plan, execute a contract, and proceed with the development of the new courts. Thank you all for your participation in that discussion. That concludes this meeting of the Board of Directors. Do I have a motion to? Yeah, I'll do it, yeah. The next meeting of the Royalwood Board of Directors is scheduled for October 23rd, which is the Joint Finance Committee Master Board meeting to review and approve the 2026 budget. There will be a regular meeting of the Master Board in November. The date will be determined soon. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion by Rick Varias, second by Jeff Clark. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, meeting's adjourned.
Can you play
at the same time?
Yes.
In the future, if we want to put in a pickleball court, you just reline it, build it. There you go. Sure.
Absolutely. Okay, Jam Chet, you too, take care.
See you, Jamshed.
I've got writer's cramp.
Thank you, Jim.
You need me to sign that one? Okay.
Congratulations on your first.
Thanks.
And it's the
Good,
14th, right?
challenging one to start with.
Dennis turns to me and says, "I think Rick is going to last another 5 years." Thank you. You wear your sweater. I bring my sweater. It always seems to warm up in here. I never need it.
I know, I wish I had it on.